So I can calculate the mass or density of an angel. Yes, this is what the church used to talk about. It's classes I studied philosophy, and they used to joke about this. Wonderful, like medieval times, and there's great, probably scientific explanation. You could find out the mass or density of an angel. You figure out lots of stuff. In Dante, and he was like a Christian exile. He's probably exiled so he could find some cool people, and he just had to go into exile. Like, the way you see Neo dropping into the water. He had to be put into exile to be found. But it's assumed, as it would be assumed, or determined, rather, so determined, that in heaven there's a mass around of angels singing the justified praises of their Lord. They're justified, so it's not very like, oh, you're amazing, oh, you're so wonderful. It's like, oh, you actually are so amazing, oh, you actually are so wonderful. They're legitimized praises. And we can determine this on earth through logical contraposition, because we found out that if you abuse the Lord, he'll be a human. And there's like Lord, like everything's Lord, like everything, anything you depend upon basically is Lord unto you. Skies and water are Lord unto you. Lord is everything sunlight, starlight, trees, everything that you depend upon is practically Lord unto you. You're going to be Lord, like you'd be a very self-sufficient person, Alexander Supertramp. Very Lord-like man, very, very, very lordly man altogether. But got cheated and ripped off and ruined and driven into insanity. You kind of need to, in the Tao Te Ching, even it says you kind of do need to make a shop. They say it that way, it's poetry. So they found out by rejecting, abusing, insulting, framing a living Lord on earth, it has massive ramifications. And this is how we know through contraprose that in heaven they must be singing his praises all day. Because if you offend him, it's written on your sperm. If you bully him, like, you'll be bullied for eternity. These things go down and down and down into in eternities of terrible things. And that's where the donkey balls, remember I said this, I told you before, somebody probably said to our wonderful Lord, still in the desert? I think he's still in the desert. He came in on Jerusalem. I'd love to do this. I don't mean to give it all away, but it might help getting me dead. I'd love to make a Jesus film, but I'd really like to work, other than Polanski, I'd really like to work with Ron Atkins and stuff, some people from Monty Python, because it is supposed to be technically very comedy. It's supposed to be very funny. The situation, not so much like, but anyway. And I would have even liked to get Baldric himself, maybe, and get him all ruggedy and looking like some sort of a Roman soldier, or and then we have the prophet here in like Jerusalem, and he's been starving in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights, and these prophets, he will come now. They're all starved to death or whatever, they're all vulnerable. It's like, he will come now with an army of like 10,000 immortals, and he will just go Napoleonic and he'll reign through. I was like, oh, no sir, we have him here, and he's alone and on a donkey. Oh, no sir, it is just him and on a donkey. It is funny, yeah. That's what he did. The Christian warrior just rode in on a donkey. It's hard to attack a man on a donkey, isn't it? If you had a big army, you could send out the army, but it's just one man on a donkey. It's like, well, we can't just go out and shoot him in the face. He hasn't done anything. So yeah, that'd be fun. I'd like to get Baldric to play that part. Yeah, somebody probably said in Jerusalem, it's like, you're no different to the donkey you rode in here on. And he did become a scapegoat. They treated him like a scapegoat. So a donkey is something like this. It bears a burden of people. And then they had donkey balls. They had donkey balls and donkey fish and donkey everything. In donkey years. Preceding the years of donkeys. Donkey. So if you recognize his potential, if you recognize his genius, if you recognize his innocence, this is a harmony in heaven, because heaven recognizes his genius. And then it harmonizes in you, and it's in your sperm. It's written on your balls. If you recognize him as being polite, friendly, and intelligent, servile, kind, understanding, merciful, all these wonderful things, then it's written on your sperm. If you abuse him, name him, shame him for any reason whatsoever, they call it Napoleon too short, or something like that. But anyway, that's it's written on your sperm. So this is how we know that they're obviously in heaven. They must be singing the justified praises of their Lord, or, Lord of hosts, because it must be the perfect of perfects. And if he's offended in any way, it's in the water, it's in your crops, it's in your everything. Like, you got ugly baby. I saw this weird video. It looked like an Alexa video. It was like one of those Alexa videos. And it's like, and we have our fourth baby now, and my little daughter turned around and was like, "Why is our new baby so ugly, mommy?" And we kind of, it's like, it's weird. I can't say anything. Why is our baby so ugly? You can call Sinn Féin, whatever, in the north, call them up the north of Ireland, and ask them why your children look like grunty little brothel running monsters from Wexford, and it's written on your sperm. I'm being mistaken. They're getting credit from me, so I'm being mistaken for them, and it's written on your sperm. This is why due credit is very important. The truth. This is why the gospel truth is very important on all events. You need gospel balls, And if you mistake me or my credits or my intelligence or my teachings, it's written on sperm. If you change my teachings, you alter my teachings, or you remove my teachings, I'll change your sperm, alter your sperm, and remove from your sperm. I'm very well read in these ones. Yes. And luckily so for you. You know what I mean? You'd be pretty fucked if I wasn't teaching you. But you shall do me no harm. And you'll prosper greatly by my humble advice. No, go to hell.